Hello and welcome back to the channel. I'm filming this on my phone just because the camera is elsewhere. But as you would have saw in the previous video, the water pump bearings have gone and you can see the play that's on there. So we have a new water pump, which is here. So we'll get that installed. I've also got a new clutch solenoid, which we may or may not swap out. That is obviously there, but we'll see if we can get that one working. But first off, we need to get this swapped out for another one. And I'm just gutted that I never got it done before. But anyway, let's get that done and then we can get back on track. So that's that loosened off and hammered back. So now we've got the belt loose. We'll just get it off the pulley. So I've got the belt loosened and you can see just how much play there is again. That's crazy. So next step, we need a 4mm spanner, Allen key even, and we'll get these whizzed off and then that'll give us access to the ones behind. We'll do the other three like that. I'm just whizzing the ones off that I can with a gun. And then I'll get the rest with the others. So I think that's all the screws off the water pump. Let's get in with a pry bar. There we go. So here's the water pump. I'll just lay it over here so we can have a look at it. So I don't know if you can see that on camera. So definitely glad that I took it out to get changed. So we'll go and put the new one back on anyway. So here's the old one and the new one side by side. So you can see it there. So I'm just going to push this O-ring into that groove, put a bit of silicone grease on it and clean up the surface on the other side and we'll get that fitted. That's the water pump all bolted up and just a way to put the pulleys back on and then obviously the alternator back. So that's the pulley put back on, alternator top bolt on, and just need to do this once I get the belt slipped on to this and then I'll get it to the tension. So that's the belt on and tensioned using the alternator. So that is one job complete. So the next step that I'm going to do is I'm actually going to connect all the coolant hoses. Get that done just now. So lowered the car down, just a way to connect these coolant pipes here and here. Got some Jubilee clips because the original clips are broke when taken off. So I'm just going to do that just now and then we'll be able to fill it with coolant and it'll probably be a bit of a pest to circulate it, but I do have a vacuum system that we might use and then once we've done that we'll get onto the ECU and airbox. So as the coolant hoses all connected, had to use some Jubilees and there was some of the old fittings still there. While I was at it, I put the air conditioning pipes back on to the air conditioning pump, so it's all done. And next I'll do the airbox and ECU. Airbox is here with all the screws on the inside, so we'll go and get that done just now. That's the airbox done and the ECU is reconnected. I haven't put the top cover on yet, just simply because to give it a little bit more room. I've also soldered the two cables that was bare and also repaired this plug that was damaged as well off camera, and I'm now going to lower the car and get some coolant in there. So the coolant I'm going to use is this stuff. I'm not necessarily saying that this is the right stuff, but this is what I'm going to use. So I'm going to put like 2 litres spread over these bottles, put in 1 neat, 1 water, and get that filled up just now, so I'll go and do that. Get that poured in, and then I'll fill this with water. And it says online that I need to take off the sensor here to let the air out. So I'll fill that first and then we'll get to that. So it's the header tank filled. It took just under 3 litres of water. And I also took the clip off and pulled the coolant sensor out to let the air out, and then obviously topped it up again. So yeah, just under 3 litres. There wasn't much air come out of it, but I think the problem is that these hoses are going down because obviously the engine isn't sitting where it should be. So I think the next step is to lift the engine up once I do a quick fire, just to double check that everything is working as it should, and then we'll get the engine up. So I'm just going to quickly give this car a start. Once you started, not bad, eh? Wow, what a difference. You can actually hear the turbo. That looks like a success, so I think I am... Where's that smoke coming from? It's just coming off the exhaust. So I think we'll shut her off and then we'll get the engine in. So that's everything cool. Let's get the wheels put back onto the car to make it easier to get the cradle up. We'll go and do that now. Right, that's the wheels back on, so we'll lower her down and hopefully the cradle will pretty much go into position as it is, and then once it's there we can go around and connect everything else. I'll just need to dig out the cradle bolts as well. So that's it starting to slide down. Oh. This actually came off the mount a little bit. So I just need to double check it hasn't come off this side, which it hasn't, and see why she's not going up. So just with moving both rear wheels back and forward, I've managed to get the rear cradle onto the mounts, obviously still on the long bolts, and front ones I've got as close as I can. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to change it back ones just now and then get a jack underneath the front ones to try and get that out the best I can, and I'll do them obviously one at a time. So I'll go and change these ones just now. So I've got everything I need. This one is actually loose at the moment. I found the bolts, so the two longer ones are the rear, two front ones are the long ones, the short ones even. I'm using an 18 Torx socket, so I'm going to take this off for a moment. So we'll get this one up. Right, so I'll go and give that a tighten up off camera because it's a little bit tighter than the other ones. That's the two rear nuts in, so let's go and do this front right one because it'll be the easiest. You can see this one's coming out quite quick and easy. So that's me got three of them in, so that's the two rears and this front driver's side one. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the same as the last time, is I'll use the axle jack to lift it up just to make sure that I can see that everything's aligned. So I'll get this in the air and then I'll get it in situ. It should be okay with running just the three bolts at the present moment, just to allow us to get underneath the car and see that we're not pinching anything. So we'll get the jack over. And we'll get this corner here lifted up just so we can get that done. So that's the transmission jack jacked up, and you can see that it's taken the weight off this bolt here, further up, and also this one here because I've left them loose just to make it easier for alignment. So I'm just waiting to unscrew this and get the other one in, but I'll need both my hands, so I'll need to do it off camera. So that's that. All four bolts tightened up. I haven't torqued them to spec yet. I just wanted to leave them as loose but in situ as possible, just because there might be other things that I need to do. So next, I'm going to start reconnecting the ABS, which is that one I believe, and obviously the brake lines, which you can see here. And then I'll obviously need to do the brake cable, which is up there as well, which I think is going to be the worst thing to get reconnected for some reason. So I'm going to do that just now. So that's the two ABS sensors connected, still got the brake lines to do, and I've just this second connected, I don't know if you can see because of the light, the handbrake cable. So I just basically used long nose pliers to pull the cable over, and then obviously hooked each side in one at a time. It was a bit of a pain, you almost need like a third hand, but we got there, and at least that's in. So we'll get the car lowered and we'll do the brake lines next. So that's the brakes all reconnected. I've actually lost the little retainer clips because obviously it was like a couple of years that I took them off, so I'll need to go online and get them ordered. So if anyone knows the sizes, just let us know. I will have a look online and see. So that's the engine in. I think the next step that I'm going to do is I'm going to get some caliper paint. I'll buff these down, get these painted. I'll probably do them black on the back and red on the front. I'll get some black caliper paint just to tidy those up. So I'll get some of that tomorrow, buff that down, and then what we'll do is we'll put the body panels back on. I think I might stop the video there. I'm not actually sure how long that has been. It's been a bit on and off over the last week or so because I've been on holiday, but engine is in, it's starting, everything is reconnected as it should. Like I say, it's just basically cosmetic stuff on here, and obviously we'll get the panels back on. Then we'll switch back to the front where I've still got the steering all off and the brakes, which is all lying down there. And as you know, I do have a load of spares here, brake discs, pads, and so on. But we'll close that video here. But I just wanted to say a big thank you for watching and sticking with us. I know I'm not obviously the best at this whole YouTube malark, and it's quite difficult to film because I don't really want to be on camera on this channel, but maybe I will in the future. But anyway, catch you later, and we'll catch up soon.